All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly team Zoom for the Vigil Master Agency. As you guys were just hearing, before we press record here, that we got a lot of stuff going on the team, health-wise and whatnot. And same thing with Chuck, right? Chuck's dealing with something right now as well with the family. And when adversity hits us like this, it only means one thing, right? That means that whoever is dealing with those things is on the cusp of a breakthrough. Because we are always challenged before we level up, before we have a breakthrough, before we have a mindset shift. And it has never failed in my life. Every single time I've gone through a rough patch like that, I've always come out stronger on the other end of that. One of the awards that they gave out at conference was the Buffalo Spirit Award, and it went out. So it's normally given to an agent, right? Well, this time it was actually given to an admin of one of the agencies, and his name is Mike Delaney. And if you guys have ever gone to SFG Quotes and clicked on like the events and conferences, he's the one that keeps that portion updated for the entire company, right? So, Mike Delaney is brother of Brian Delaney, and he is battling cancer, and he has come out on the other side of it once before, and it looks like he's going to beat it again this time. But just talk about someone that that continues to give and give and give, even though he's going through all this. He's posted his whole journey online as well, to provide inspiration and help for people. But that's part of what today's talk is about, right? So it's all about mindset. This business is everything about the mindset. You make decisions every single day, right? And I'm going to give you guys a little background on me. That way you guys have a better understanding of where I'm coming from, right? So when we moved to North Carolina, I was sitting at about 240 pounds. I had just gone through 75 hard twice, because I had ballooned up to almost 300 pounds, right? So, and I got tired of that. And this career can be sedentary, right? If we allow it to be one of those sedentary things. So what did I do? I bought myself a standing desk. I have a walking pad for under my desk. So now I have to eliminate the excuses, right? I'm going to tell you guys this. I bought those last year, and I used my standing desk like 10% of the time, and I used the walk pad for like 2 weeks religiously, right? And then after that, like things, you fall back into routines. And I'm gonna say it was about a month before we went to New Mexico in July. I looked at myself and I was like, man, Michael, like this is ridiculous. You look terrible. You feel terrible all the time. Your sleep has been, and I'm a great sleeper, let me tell you, but like your body is telling you that you need more sleep. Um, and I almost started wearing a triple X, guys. Like my double X stuff was fitting tight on me. And granted, I'm 5'11", okay? So I had never worn a triple X in my life, and I got to that point and I was like, all right, time to make a change. And I just made small little changes every day, right? And each week I'd make a different change. And from the time that we went to New Mexico to the time that we came back, I lost 16 pounds. Okay. So that was about a month. Um, and then I lost 5 pounds over the course of the week that we were back from New Mexico, or the week that we were in New Mexico. And then when we got back from New Mexico, I realized I didn't have anything to wear at conference. How many of you guys have ever gone to a meeting or something like that and you didn't have something to wear, right? Like you're just like, oh man. I mean, and I've got a closet full of stuff, but none of it fit me. I mean, and it was just like a little too snug. Have you guys ever been so uncomfortable in something just because it's a little too snug or whatever the case is, right? Well, that's where I was. And I was like, God darn it, Michael, like you're so close. So I made a deal with myself that I was going to lose an entire pant size in 7 days. And here's the reality of that. From that day, from August 7th till today, and what is that? 12 days, I've dropped 16 pounds. And it was
Good.
all from little tiny changes that I made throughout the day, right? I limit myself to water, coffee, and tea, right? Black or plain. That's what I limit myself to drink. I've never been a alcohol person, so that hasn't really been anything. But food is my comfort creature, is my creature comfort, right? Like I love food. You guys will see my stories on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm always making food. Well, I decided to, I was like, you know what? How can I take care of myself? Because health is the new wealth, right? And if we're not healthy, we can't be successful in anything that we do. And you guys are probably wondering, like, where are you going with this, Michael? Right? Well, over this time where I allowed myself to get out of control, I also let my business get out of control. I didn't have control over my life in every aspect, right? And this is after much success. I mean, Justine's been here long enough to see how successful I've been in the past. But your past success doesn't define your future success, right? By any means. It's all in the present time. What are you doing in the present to move yourself forward and to be the best version of yourself? So I've taken these little changes every single day and I've documented them. That's the other thing, right? Is I've literally documented them every day. So that's why they say journaling is so important if you're going to be an entrepreneur, right? Or if you're going to be a business owner. That way you can see what you're actually accomplishing throughout the day. How many of you guys have ever sat at your desk, looked up 8 hours later, and you're like, God darn it, what did I actually accomplish today? I bought leads. I called a few people. I shuffled some papers on my desk. I looked up this. I looked up that. And then before you know it, you're like, how much money did I make today? How much income producing activity did I do today? I mean, it happens to all of us, right? And if you think about it, how often does it happen to you? If I'm an honest man, right? Like it probably happens about 70% of the time to most of us, and we don't even realize it. So one of the things that I realized coming out of conference was, and Justine, you've been to conference before. Kenneth, you were there for your first time. Alex, you were there for your first time. Usually at conference, it's like so overwhelming because they're bombarding us with rollouts after rollout after rollout. And I thought this was the most effective and efficient conference that I've been to. Was there a lot of information given? Yeah, but you know what they did not do? They didn't they didn't give us overstimulus. Like we weren't overstimulated with all this stuff. They gave us clear, concise tasks that we can apply every single day to our business and be successful. It's as simple as this, guys. You get up, you do whatever you got to do personally, right? You look at your task list. We talked about this last week, right? Using the Ivy Lee method to have your task list for the day. Tackle those top three things, right? Work on the rest. Whatever you don't finish, move on to the next day, and those become your top priority. And if you rinse and repeat that every single day, you will become effective and efficient with the things that you have to do. This business is simple. We overcomplicate it as humans. And it's really that simple. We just overcomplicate things, right? That's it. I got back from conference. Julia had a procedure yesterday. I mean, for anyone else, if your spouse had a procedure in the morning, would that take you out for the entire day? Be honest with yourself. Raise your hand, right? In the past, it would. You know, I got her home while she was in the procedure. I was talking to carriers, trying to help some people get some policies issued. Normally, I would have sat in the lobby, right? Scrolled Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case is, right? Waiting for your spouse to come out. Well, this procedure took a little bit longer because the numbing medication didn't work on time. So it took an hour longer. So I would have been sitting in the lobby 2 hours out of my life wasted. But instead I took care of some stuff. I put together some game plans for some newer agents as well. And then I got to thinking, right? I was like, okay, so if everyone on the team wants to be successful and 5K a week is the goal, what do you have to do? It's really this simple, guys. 75 to 100 phone calls every single day. Talk to 25 people, set anywhere from 7 to 10 appointments. That's it. You do that, and then everything else will come. If you talk to 25 people and you set 15 appointments for the week, you're going to sell a minimum of 5 policies. It's really that simple. Like you're going to sell 5 policies because here's the reality of it, right? If you have 15 appointments on the books, 5 of them aren't going to show up, 5 of them aren't interested, and the other 5, man, they're laydowns, right? They're just, hey, yep, whatever you're telling me, that's what I'm going to go with. And if they don't happen this week, the numbers will even out next week or over 3 weeks. The biggest thing with this business is just don't quit. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate anything. And the other way to win here is build a team. You guys hear every Sunday night, Danny Young says, right? Get you somebody. Michael Chilton, get you a running partner. Kenneth, we got to get you a running partner, especially down there in South Carolina. South Carolina is untapped. I mean, yes, there are a handful of strong leaders there, but South Carolina, I think, only has 75 agents part of Cemetery. North Carolina has 1,200 registered agents for Cemetery. Think about that disparity, right? That's huge. You have a huge opportunity where you're at, Kenneth. And you come from the sales background, so you already know people that have that mentality of, hey, this is high ticket sales, right? This can be high ticket sales. And those of you guys that were at conference, you saw what some of those numbers are, right? From an annuity, from a debt-free life, from an infinite banking policy, from an IUL. Those are high ticket items that we can close between 1 to 5 hours of time with someone. Most high ticket items, how long do they take to close and how long do they take to pay? A month to close it, right? Because you got to go quote it, or you got to go and look at it, then you got to come back and quote it, and then you got to send it to them, and then they're waiting on 3 estimates from other people, and then they finally make a choice, whether it's a roof or solar or new windows on your house or whatever the case is, right? And then you get it scheduled. They make the deposit, and then 90 days from today, the roof or the floor or whatever gets taken care of, right? And then they make the payment 30 days after that, and then you get paid. So something you sold today, you're not going to get paid for till after Christmas. The beauty of what we do is you sell something today, you get paid on it Wednesday. You get paid on it Thursday. I sold a policy yesterday, and there was a deposit in my account this morning for $797. Like, it's a simple business, guys. We just have to keep it super simple. And if you guys need help or reminders on that, reach out, right? Reach out to me, reach out to Brenda, reach out to someone that you're comfortable with and that's going to help you. It doesn't have to be me. And I want to make sure you guys understand that. It doesn't have to be me. If there's someone else in this industry that appeals to you, by all means. Justine, did Brenda bring you into this business? No, exactly. Kenneth, did I bring you into this business? No. And he and I had a great connection. We sat next to each other at the conference, right? And we got to talk, got to learn about each other. But guys, find someone, tune in every single day, become a part of an accountability group. Jim Larson has his at 9 a.m. Eastern. We moved ours to 9 a.m. Eastern. There's one at, I think it's 10:30 Eastern for the Kim Browse as well. But there's accountability groups all across the country. If you can't hold yourself accountable, who else is going to? Michael, does your wife hold you accountable or do you hold yourself accountable? Both, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. When you're married, that's how it goes, right? But like
Yeah.
if it's the gym or if it's your health or whatever the case, your hobby, I mean, you have to hold yourself accountable, right? She doesn't know what's required of this business. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But I mean, if you don't do your 75 to 100 dials a day, then you're unemployed, right? Because if you don't fill up the next day if you don't fill up that white space in your calendar the next day, you're unemployed the next day. And then you're unemployed the next day. And then you think that this business doesn't work because you're not working the business. It's weird how that works, right? So, guys, that was the biggest takeaway that I had coming out of there. But I did want to, this Jordan Hunt, the end of almost. Do you remember this one, Justine? Life is full of moments. It's not events, right? Regret lives in the past, hope lives in the future, but gratitude lives in the present. So if we're not grateful for what we have today, there's no way that we can have hope for the future, right? Because we're always focusing on the past. And then the other one too was Sarah Radicke, and this is part of creating a legacy, a name for yourself, right? The name of her topic was Remember Your Name. So you're the architect of your legacy. Stop playing small. Lead with authenticity. This place, Cemetery, was created so we could make an impact while making a living. It's as simple as that, guys. If we make an impact on others, that's going to impact our lives and it's also going to impact our bank account. And it's literally a rinse and repeat, right? It's completely scalable. If you master $2,000 a week and you want to go up to five, do five. If you want to go from 10, now you have the numbers on what you have to do to double that. So, Justine, would you like to add anything from conference? And then we'll go to Kenneth, and then we'll go to Alex.
So the thing that Brennan and I were talking about after conference was everything everybody talked about in the women's conference, in our breakouts, in the actual conference itself on Thursday. Consistency is key to being successful in everything, not just with your business, but your life as well, and schedule. If you have a schedule that you stay consistent with, you are going to be successful. And it couldn't be more true. I mean, I have 3 kids. My schedule is so chaotic all the time. And if I even wake up 30 minutes later, my schedule is completely off because now I have to figure out where I'm going to make up that 30 minutes. So something is getting taken out. If I just stay consistent and wake up every morning when I'm supposed to wake up, my day's going to be flawless.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Consistency is key. Massive action, constant correction, right?
Yep. Yep.
Kenneth, your first time there. You're muted though.
I was very impressed with the genuineness and the sincerity of all of the folks that were presenting and their interest in helping. Uh, the content was great. I got a lot out of it. Thought the production value in the presentations was one that kept you in your seat, kept you very interested. I actually was in the meetings and programs production business in part of my sales career. And it was very reminiscent of the high energy type of things that we tried to create for our clients. So I got a lot out of it. Certainly enjoyed my time spending with you. And I got a fire.
Awesome. And I'm ready for us to do that game plan session this week, Kenneth, because we need to carry that fire, right? So, one thing about this business, guys, it's about association, right? So, Michael, in Texas, we have the Ignite conference that's coming up in March. Okay, so it's something to keep on the schedule. There's a couple of other events that are coming up as well. Like in Dallas, they're having an advanced markets boot camp. So if you want to become an expert and work on those high ticket sales, right? And become a subject matter expert where people we can refer business to you, right? So if someone comes across a DFL case and they don't have the time or expertise to do it, you can do that. That's coming up in September in Dallas. But I mean, association is everything with this business because, like you just heard Kenneth say, right? You can hear someone on stage, they walk off, and then when they're walking in the hallway, you can pull them over, right, and have a conversation with them, and they're happy to talk to you. It's not a burden. It's not, you're not bothering them, anything like that. And that's one of the things that I truly love about Symmetry. You know, one thing I tell Chuck all the time, he's like, "Hey, sorry to bother you." I'm like, "Chuck, it's not a bother." He's like, "I know you're an extremely busy guy. That's okay. Trust me." Like, I love when you guys come to me with ideas, with even with concerns or anything like that, because all it does is help me get better and helps everyone else get better. Alexandra or Ale,
Hello.
howdy, howdy.
I think for me, I really liked the women's event. I was really excited, ever since we knew that we were coming to Symmetry, just because the Engage was here in Denver. I really liked the women's event and then the social media. I learned that I need to put at least something once a day on social media, and I just did my post, so hopefully we get some attraction. But other than that, I'm excited. I'm pretty new, but I got some pretty good tips to go into um August, the last weeks of August and September. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome. And so talking about social media, I don't know if you guys can, oh no, because I have the blurred thing on. So part of my journey, right, of learning and getting better is social media as well. Well, if you guys don't think that Facebook throttles your posts, they absolutely do. I took a screenshot of something that they sent me today. It says you're reaching a wider audience. We increased your distribution because you frequently post high quality content. So think about that. If you think that you're not getting the amount of views that you used to or whatever, it's because Facebook is specifically throttling your audience, right? Your distribution. I mean, they hear about the algorithm all the time, right? Well, it's an algorithm that's always changing. So utilize AI. I use ChatGPT. I pay the $20 a month version for it. It does a ton of tasks for me, reminders, it logs my food, it logs, my activity, everything like that for me. And then at the end of the day, I get a report, right? Because I go in there and I type everything in there. And at the end of the day, it gives me, it's like an executive assistant. This is what you did today. This is what you didn't do today. And this is what you need to accomplish tomorrow. So I utilize that all the time, right? And it's helping me now with even better posts when it comes to social media. What's trending, what works, what hashtags to use, right? What do people want to see? And then you can train it over time to help you work within your demographics of the people that are following you. So you'll have more posts that are impactful, right? So I'm glad you mentioned that, Alex, because that is you had a great recap post as well. If you guys
Mhm.
haven't seen it, maybe Alex, you can post the link in the WhatsApp chat for everyone.
Okay.
But I thought it was highly effective, right? Like she
Mhm.
documented her journey from start to finish. People that she met along the way and posted them in there, and it's getting views. So
Something also, can I add something? Sorry. For you guys to, or just symmetry in general, to talk about God and how much God was present there, I think was huge for me. Especially going from the transition from Aflac to symmetry, I questioned it a lot. Like I cried a lot knowing that I was gonna quit my job, but it also put me in a mindset that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Um, I also I prayed to God a lot about waking up early, having discipline, and now we have a 7 a.m. accountability group. I'm like, oh wow, like, and I told my friend, I was like, hey, like this is happening. Like, what do I do? They even asked me if I'm okay with 7 a.m. She's like, girl, like you asked God for it, now he's responding. Like, here you go. So that was pretty big for me.
Ale, this is what I told Julia when I came home from the meetings that I was a part of. I kept track of it. 16 times God was mentioned and praised from stage, from top producers, from top leaders, right? Everyone but the founders. But Todd Spivey, I mean, his speech was inspirational, and I really hope, guys, I am praying. I'm going to write to Brian Williamson and ask them that if they'll release all of the stage presentations because they record them there, but they never make them like publicly available. But if we had some of those things available for replay, oh man, for the people that couldn't make it, right, for whatever reasons, whether it was timing or financials or school, right? That's why Julia and Caleb didn't go, is because school just started the same day that I flew out. But if we can get those recordings for you guys to be able to watch and just be able to experience a little bit of what we experienced while we were there, guys, I mean that's what I'm actually going to reach out to Brian today and get that taken care of, see if we can get that done soon. But if not next year, I'm taking a camera crew and we're just going to film all the sessions myself because I used to do that. I don't know. I mean, back in 2018, I literally, so we didn't have as many breakouts, but the breakouts were huge. There was only like 5 rooms of breakouts. Now there was what, 16 breakouts every single session. I had 4 iPads, two extra cell phones, and I would literally go into every room, take up the center seat right in front of the stage, and I would film every single event. And then I would bring them home and I'd put them on YouTube for the team to see for those that couldn't make it, right? So, and then we got spoiled during COVID, right? Because conferences were all virtual. So we had, I think, a total of 3 or 4 national conferences that were completely recorded. But guys, I mean, this, like I said before, this business is simple. It's a rinse and repeat business. But you have to be consistent in what you're doing. Massive action, constant correction. And that's one of the things that they said, guys. So, oh, and the other one, I want to make sure that I mention this. And Joseph, you've heard me say this on our accountability call before. Imitate before you innovate. So I know we all have our own ideas when we come to Symmetry, right? And Armando and I had a conversation about this because he sent me a script that he had put together, right? And I told him, I said, Armando, do me a favor. I said, I love it. I think it's great. But use the script that we have, and then over time you can adapt it and adjust it to what works for you. But imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? And if you're imitating the people that are performing at the best, then you can innovate down the road. But I'm going to tell you this, 90% of the time, you're going to find that you don't have to innovate because when you're imitating what the top producers are doing, there's very little wiggle room to innovate. The small things of innovation are like maybe a new lead type, funnel, right? Funnel was a new innovation for us when we've had 3 iterations of what funnel is now. SFG quotes was one of those things that was an innovation, right? A lot of little things that we've done, like our agent activation accelerator. Guys, I'm going to send out a message as well for those of you guys that want to learn how to build a team. I'm going to have a separate meeting. We'll do it in the evening so it doesn't affect our daily production time. And those of you guys that truly want to build, I want to get started with you guys next week. So we're going to meet this week, but I want to get started with you guys next week. And I'm only going to offer this a one time, right? Where we put everyone on the same platform. All I'm going to ask from everyone is to pay $25 for their Zoom seat. Don't go out and buy a Zoom seat. It has to be on one account for a reason so I can distribute interviews. But I'm going to teach you guys how to interview. I'm going to teach you guys how to do graphics when you interview people that, that way when they come on board, you have that. And I'm going to give you guys the graphics. I'm just going to show you where to go and do it. I'm going to show you, so during the interview process, how to find quality candidates. Because something that I've always done, and it's probably stymied my growth, but I heard it from stage and I heard it there, is this isn't to throw people at the wall and see what sticks, right? You have to find people that are going to have the resources when they come here to be able to invest in themselves. Joseph, if you go out and find someone today, you go out, let's say you go to the restaurant, server was awesome, great service, right? And she wants to become an insurance agent, but she doesn't have $250 to invest in her license plus another $250 to invest in leads when she gets here. Is she going to be successful? No, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So we're gonna work through the whole building process. And then over time, this is what's going to happen, right? You're going to grow yourself. So when you grow yourself, you lead yourself, and then you can grow others to lead themselves, right? So you can't lead others until you can lead yourself. And that's what the whole process is going to be. And those of you guys that really want to build a team, it's going to be a commitment. I'm going to have everyone sign a commitment form that they're going to stick with it, right? Because here's what I'm doing. I'm going to invest tens of thousands of dollars in recruiting, in advertising, and everything else like that. So you guys don't have to worry about posting job ads. You guys can post all your stuff that you want to on your own, right? But I'm going to make sure that your calendars have enough interviews during the week for you to build a team. Because this is what, and this doesn't have to be your goal, but this is my goal. By Ignite, I want to take at least 5 agency owners to Ignite. And if you're an agency owner by Ignite, I'm paying for your entire trip. So whether you've already bought your ticket and everything like that, or you do it in advance, you'll get a reimbursement or whatever the case is. But we're going to have what do you call it? A retreat, a leader retreat a couple days before Ignite or after, depending on the scheduling. Where I'm going to pay for the Airbnb where everyone will stay at, or possibly a suite there, or a couple suites at the hotel, right? And we're going to dive deeper on how each of you guys can have 5 AOs by September 23rd through the 25th next year for conference. Okay. So that's the commitment I'm making. 5 agency owners minimum going to Ignite. That way, when you guys are Ignite, you guys are already or going to begin your AO run as well to get 5 others. Because that's all it takes, right? It takes 3 to 5. 3 to be free, 5 to be rich. That's what it takes here. 3 agency owners to be free. So when you have 3 agency owners, that means you don't have to produce anymore. When you have 5 agency owners, you have true financial freedom. So if you guys are committed to that, if you guys want to be a part of that, send me a text message personally. I'm going to post this recording as well. If someone wasn't on that should have been on, text them as well. Tell them to catch the replay because I'm not going to send out this message to everyone else. They got to watch the recording in order to be a part of that. Okay. Any questions? I know we ran a little long today. No questions? All right, guys, let's get out there and get after it. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.